What is up, everybody? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. This is my prize picks breakdown for UFC 287. Going to be going through this card from a prize picks perspective and see what sticks out this week for some prize picks. Before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe here to Pub Sports Radio, and also check out prize picks. Use that promo code PUBSPORTS to get yourself a deposit bonus there. But I say we get into it here. A lot of things stick out, so I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. The first thing in the fight time, I'm going to go with the Jacqueline Amari under 12.5 minutes fight time. Jacqueline Amari, she has never been out of the first round. She has 6 wins, all 6 of them coming in the very first round. She's actually ever been over one half of a round only once. And I don't think that changes here. I think she wins this fight. I think she wins it in the first round. If it does go out of the first round, I think it gets very interesting, but I do expect her to get the fight down at some point and finish the fight shortly after. Also in the minutes is going to be the over in the... There it is, Adrian Yanez. I like the more here on the 12.5 minutes. Rob Font, I do question the durability a tad at this point, but Rob Font, at the end of the day, he's never been knocked out. You know, Yanez is as tough as they come. I think this is going over here. I think this is actually going to decision. I think Rob Font might get hurt here or there, might wobble, might get dropped even. He's been dropped 5 times in his last 2 fights, but he's very good at recovering. I think he does recover when he does get hurt, and this does last 15 minutes. Might get a little bit sweaty, but I do like the over for the Yanez fight. So I like those 2 in the minutes. Going to the takedowns, a couple more things sticking out here. I kind of like the under 0.5 takedowns, the less here on Gastelum, just due to the fact that Gastelum, he can wrestle, but man, Chris Curtis's takedown defense is no joke. It's actually 100%. I think he's stuffed like 32 takedown attempts. So I'm going to say the under for Gastelum on takedowns completed. I think he might go for a couple, but I think Curtis does have the takedown defense to stuff those. And then I do like the under on the Adesanya 1.5 takedowns. I don't think Adesanya has the best wrestling. I think he's completed 1 takedown in the UFC. Yes, it was against Alex Pereira, but he was like 1 for 4 in their last matchup. I think he might get 1, maybe, but I'm not even convinced he gets 1 here. So I like the under for both these guys, Gastelum and Israel Adesanya here for the takedowns. Moving on to the fantasy score. A couple things that stick out here. I like the under on the Gastelum fantasy score. I think this fight's going to be close. I think this fight goes to decision. I don't see Gastelum having much finishing upside, much takedown upside. I think it's all going to be significant strikes. I don't think this is going to be an overly high volume matchup as well. So yeah, give me the Gastelum under there on the fantasy score. I don't think either guy scores well here in a fight that I think does go the distance with not a ton going on. Next, I like the Adesanya under on this fantasy score. I'm not even convinced he wins this fight, let alone puts up 98 fantasy score. I mean, that's a lot for a guy that I don't see wrestling, for a guy that I don't see knocking out Pereira. I think if he wins, it's because he sticks and moves across 5 rounds and outpoints Pereira to the decision. And I don't see him scoring 98 doing just that. So yeah, I like the less here on Adesanya as well. And then I'll go and give you all one more. I like the under on the Burns fantasy score. That's a lot, 108.5. I guess they're expecting him to go out there and run through Jorge Masvidal like he did to Neil Magny. Jorge Masvidal is not Neil Magny. Jorge Masvidal has not been submitted since 2009, whereas Neil Magny's been submitted like 6 times at this point. I think this actually goes a little bit further into the fight, if not the distance. I see Burns scoring well. I don't think he's going to put up a terrible score, nothing like that, but 109 is a ton for Gilbert Burns when I don't really see him going out there and running right through Jorge Masvidal like a lot of people do seem to think this week. So give me the less on Gastelum, Adesanya, and Gilbert Burns. I like all 3 of those quite a bit, honestly. And then lastly, the significant strikes, I'm going to go with the Yanez over. Significant strikes here, the more, 73.5. He's going to have to land a lot more of that to compete with Rob Font. Rob Font has next level volume, as does Adrian Yanez, honestly. I guess it all comes down to whether Yanez finishes Font, and like I said, Font never been knocked out in his entire career. I think this goes over pretty easily there. And then I like the under on the Raul Rosas Jr. significant strikes, 26.5, just due to the fact that this guy does not want to strike. He's going to go out there and go for a takedown within the first probably 10 to 15 seconds. He's not going to want to strike with Christian Rodriguez. So yeah, honestly, a lot sticking out this week from a prize picks perspective. I'm going to mix and match, see what I can come up with, but yeah, hopefully I highlighted some plays that stick out, because yeah, there's a lot of options this week, I'd say. But yeah, those are the things that I like the most. Quickly Amarim under 12.5, Yanez over 12.5 minutes. Gastelum under on takedowns, Adesanya under in takedowns. I like the Gastelum under on the fantasy score, Adesanya under on the fantasy score, Burns under on the fantasy score. I like the Rosas under on significant strikes, and then the Yanez over on significant strikes. So again, a lot of sticking out. If you guys have not checked out Prize Picks, be sure to do so and use that promo code PubSports. Leave a like on this video. It does help out a ton. And also subscribe to Pub Sports Radio. That helps out as well. And best of luck for UFC 287. See you guys later.